and they would do what they call sitting till bedtime, go and see each other and stay a while. Bedtime is probably pretty early. And we used to go over to the Huff place, and we kids would play out in the yard while the grown people rested, and we'd play There Ain't No Boogers Out Tonight. And there was an old family cemetery somewhere back of that house. We were scared to death to get near that place. I think it's about time now for me to tell about the schoolhouse where I went to school. It was a square building, and it had 2 stories. And on the bottom floor was a hall that went straight through the building. And there was 2 rooms on each side of the hall. And there were 2 or 3 classes in each room, of course, because there weren't but 11 classes at that time in the whole school. And it had steps in the back, real steep steps going down, and at a good ways from it were 2 outhouses close. They weren't close to each other. One for the girls and one for the boys. And we didn't have anything. We didn't have a library. We didn't have anything. But we had fun. And there were some little steep stairs that went up to the auditorium on the 2nd floor. And it was a fire trap if I ever saw one. But fortunately, we never had a fire. And that's where we had plays and graduations and everything that was fun to me. Now back down here at Cataula, I left out one of the main things. Right where the post office is now, the house on the left there, by the post office, was where Mr. Henry Clark, his wife, Miss Eva, lived. And then where the post office is was their grocery store. And they had the post office in their store. And then right next door to it was Mr. A.C. Hobbs' store. And ladies didn't go in that store because a whole bunch of old men were all sitting around chewing tobacco and spitting in little box with sawdust in it, and they were always playing checkers with each other. And if a lady went in the front door, it was said that the way the light was, you could see right through her, and unless she had on a very thick slip. And they actually thought that then. Next to that store was Emmett Smith's store. He was a loud-mouthed man with a droopy mustache, and I didn't call him a roughneck, but he had a nice wife and 2 nice daughters, and I took music from one of them when I was a little girl. And next to them was their house, which when Mr. Smith moved off to Florida, he sold that house to my dad and the store. And of course, Mr. Shellnut ran a store there for many years, rented it from Daddy. And Daddy rented the house to various unsavory people, and finally sold it to Ted Bingham, and he has certainly improved it. Right next to that house, there was another nice little house, but I think it burned. I think I remember when it burned. Then there was a Thompson house, which faced onto the road that went by the schoolhouse, because that road's closed up there now. And across the little road from the Thompson house was another house that was lived in by the Corleys and the Corleys at various times. Now, the Corleys came here from Alabama. Mr. Corley was a depot agent, and their two boys were just little boys when they first came to Cataula. And going down the road toward Columbus, I left out one of the few houses that's still intact and looks just like it did when I was a little girl. And just before you get to the cemetery, the Rehoboth Cemetery, on the right is the old Kemper place. And it was occupied by Mr. Tom Kemper. I remember how he looked. He was a Civil War veteran, too, and a very prominent man. There's a lot said about him in the Harris County history. Now, somewhere in my pictures that Mama left, there's an old snapshot that Tom Truitt gave to Mama. It shows exactly how Cataula looked way back then. Tom, you know, he used to come up and visit Mom and Daddy as long as he lived, because his father and mother lived in Cataula one time, and he and his brothers and sisters, I remember them. But Tom would always come back, and his father worked for Mr. A.C. Hobbs. But, of course, his grandfather, they were very prominent people up in Hamilton in the old days. And no road was paved. And they finally built some bridges across the little creeks, branches. And on 315, east and west, especially the one going out toward Ellerslie, there were outcroppings of rocks in the road. And I'm telling you, they would break your neck. And there were some notorious mud holes on these roads when it rained. I remember the boys said when they put gravel on the main highway here, they'd soon shoot all that up in their slingshots. But the ruts would get so deep on 315 that the bottom of the car would just scrape the middle of the road. And you couldn't get out of the ruts. Of course, cars were a little higher up then than they are now. But these modern cars would never have made it. Now, Kingsboro Mill and Hudsons Mill were working gristmills when I was little. I used to go with Daddy to take corn to Hudsons Mill. And another family that we were friends with was Mr. Paul Jones, Lewis's daddy, and his family. Miss Carrie, she was a Holt. That was Mr. Paul's wife. And they used to come to see us, looked at me a lot of times to eat Sunday dinner. There was Pauline and Haynes and Lewis. Lewis was the youngest. And it seemed like Pauline didn't ever come. She was older and she was off at school and finally became a school teacher. It seemed like the others came a lot of times. And Mama always rose to the occasion. People dropped in on me. I don't know what I would have done. But it didn't faze her at all. One time, the Joneses and Russ went down in Wildwood Park. It was a big lake that time, and people went swimming there. So we went down there one afternoon, and Mr. Paul and Daddy and Louis, he was a little old boy, went in bathing suit and went in swimming bath. Oh, they were riskier then, weren't they? Imagine renting a bathing suit. They did it in those days. Yeah, there was a time when I was real small that there was a man named Mr. Charlie King, and he moved off down to South Georgia. And he got Daddy and probably some others, I don't know who all went, interested in going down there, thinking about moving down there. And I think it was down around Dover. And if Daddy decided to move down there, we would have been raised in the wiregrass country. And it was wild down there then, really. And everybody had malaria. Oh, that would have been awful. I'm kind of glad he didn't go. And one time, Daddy carried me to the Farnham and Bailey Circus. We went on the train. And I remember that I got a little whip. And it had a rose-colored piece of celluloid, we called it then, something like plastic. And it was wrapped around the handle. Now, Christmas was magic when I was a child. I believed with all my heart that there was a man named Santa Claus. And I never could enjoy Christmas after common sense told me there couldn't be such a thing. A week before Christmas, Mama would make cakes. She would make a Japanese fruit cake, a chocolate cake, a lemon cheese cake, and a coconut cake, and maybe a caramel cake. That was fun. And on Christmas Eve, we'd go to the woods and cut a little cedar tree. We didn't have any lights and decorations and all, and we would bring it to the house, and it smelled so good. And we'd always smoke a little rabbit tobacco on that little trip. Elizabeth Johnson would always come over there, and we would go. And of course I always prayed for snow, but I never got it. And in the spring, we would make a little pilgrimage to get honeysuckles and sweet shrubs. And then in the summer, first thing, we went to hunt green plums as soon as they appeared. And we would get a little salt and a piece of paper and go to every plum tree that we knew of and eat green plums. Then in the summer, we had blackberries and watermelons. And summer afternoons, Aunt Ella and Miss Tiny and the kids and Mama and I, we would go blackberry picking down the whetstone branch, but it was a meadow then. It wasn't grown up like it is now. And Mama never did like blackberries, but Aunt Ella was a champion. She would pick a whole dishpan full, stand in one place, and we'd be running around everywhere. And I can remember how hot and tired I was coming up that hill, trying to get home. It looked like there was a thunderstorm every afternoon. One memorable summer, the Johnstons lived in the house across the road from us. And I didn't like their son Forrest too much because he was always sneaking around hunting bird nests and showing them to me, and I was afraid he'd do something to them. Now, his grandmother and my grandmother were first cousins, but many, many years later, I got into a correspondence with him, and we had a lively little summer romance when they came down to visit in the summer from Indianapolis. And he grew up to be 6 feet tall and extremely handsome. Of course, that didn't last any longer than summer romances usually last. And he gave me a beautiful blue sapphire ring that was his. But I sent it back to him later. We went back to our usual activities, I guess. But anyway, my mother corresponded with his mother as long as she lived. And he and his wife used to come to see Mama every time they'd come south. Mama corresponded with a lot of people. And I can't even get a Christmas card sent. And it's about time that I started talking about our families, what little I know about them. And I'll start with the Grants. Now, undoubtedly, the Grants came from Scotland, as my son found out a lot about them while he was over there. And even brought samples from Grant Distillery, and also the family crest, which is hanging on my wall. Now, the Grants lived near Chester, South Carolina, and my great-grandfather was the first one who came down to Georgia. His grandfather, James Jimmy Grant, sold his land in South Carolina and came with his family in covered wagons to Georgia. We first settled on land between Hamilton and Shiloh, and somebody told me that's still known as the Grant place. I think he was an overseer. So you see, we never owned any slaves. The majority of Georgians were not big land and slave owners, but poor farmers. Later, my great-grandfather moved down to Cataula and lived in the place I've shown you all. There's no house there now. Some of the old trees are still there. Harris County census records for 1850 show him age 41. Now, the census also shows a James Grant, farmer, age 61. Now, this was my great-great-grandfather. He was in Georgia, but we don't know where he was buried. Probably up around Shiloh somewhere, because Daddy said his father told him that his grandfather was in Georgia. Now, my great-grandfather Grant was a charter member of the Flowers Methodist Church. And he was married to a Smith. I heard that she smoked a pipe. I think Daddy told me that. They had a very large family, like everybody else in those days. And I remember a lot of them. I don't know their order of birth, but there was Lou and Sue, who I never knew. They must have died before they were too old. They were old maids. And the Mary, and she and her husband, Tom Hamby, are buried in Flowers Cemetery. They lived over near Hamby's Bridge, which you remember where it is. Now, Fanny, who was the grandmother of all the Orford clan, I was crazy about all of them. I wanted to grow up and marry one of them, Joe. But when I found out he was close kin to me as he was, that was a disappointment. Joe never married. I attended his funeral about 3 years ago. And Betty, she married James Grant before they left South Carolina. He was from another branch of the family, and they had no children. That old table we have was made by him. It was put together with pegs. And one of my first memories is I think Betty having a room in our house when we lived at the Granddad place, and she fed me soaky, which was biscuit soaked in coffee. And Mama said that to get after me. And there was Emma, who was married to Fort Williams, and that was Irma's mother, if y'all remember Irma. And Nettie, who was married to Henry Pearson, and she was the grandmother of all the Landresses, and Sue Jameson's mama was a Landers, so she was her great-grandmother. And there was Tom and Tip. Tip's name was Emmett, Daddy said, and they lived up at Doraville, near Atlanta. And I remember seeing them. There was when we had a Grant reunion down here at my grandfather's house once, way back in about 1929 or something like that. But you will see pictures of my daddy and his brothers and the old Grant gentleman. And then there was Jim, who was the father of Miss Pert Holt. He married the sister of Fort Williams. Her name was Georgia. And I've already talked about her. And they lived up where Eddie and Paige are living. Then there was Millard. I believe he must have been the youngest son. And he was, they say he was a red-headed man. But I remember Mama saying that the doctor came by their house. He lived over there at his father's place. And he had a wife named Sally, and they had a son named Herman. But anyway, the doctor came by and said, well, Mr. Grant is sick, and he says he's going to die. But there's no reason for it. He's not, there's no reason for him to die. And he did, though. And he left the widow, Sally, and I think she lived up at Zebulon. Herman used to come by and see Daddy sometime. And, of course, there was my grandfather. He was not the youngest, but I understand that he was too young to go to the Civil War. And Uncle Joe Grant, he was one of the older ones, and he lived up at Shiloh. And he was a one-armed man who lost an arm in the war. Now, my grandfather, John Wickersham Grant, married Emmaline Hart, and she was the daughter of Bill and Adeline Jones Hart. And she died when my daddy was 6 years old, and Emmett was a baby. She's buried down in this little Harmony Cemetery down there. I don't know if her grave can be even located now, but it had a gravestone that was engraved with her name, and I always thought Emmaline was such a pretty name, and I once said if I had a daughter, I'd like to name her Emmaline. Anyway, their children were Ben and Willie, Jack Jr.'s grandmother. Her name was Willie Lucille, and Jack's mother was named Lucille, and I was named Willie, for Aunt Willie. Daddy loved his sister very, very much. Then there was Byron and Bruce, my daddy, and Emmy. Now the Harts lived at the old Hart place, which was off 315 between here and Mulberry Grove. But I only went over there once, and I have no idea now where it was. Daddy said on weekends, he and his brothers would go down to Ma Hart's, they called her, their grandmother Hart, and they would have to carry Emmett on their backs because he was a little child at the time. They had a hard time, very hard time. They had to, Daddy said, in order to get shirts made for them, they would have to go down to his Aunt Em's and work in the field all day while she sewed on the shirts for him. Now, I think that was mean, but life was mean in those days. And Daddy said that he went to bed hungry a lot of nights because his daddy was not a good father. And he didn't remarry until his children were about grown. But he said he used to go off at night, said he had a long black beard. I bet he was fearsome looking. And he said he'd be so happy when he'd hear him come in. I guess he was out sowing wild oats or something, being a widower. Anyway, Daddy's mother's mother, great-grandma Hart, was a Jones. She was a sister of Louis Jones's grandfather. And there was a large family of Harts. I remember many of Daddy's cousins. Some red hair came out of that family. And there's a lot of information about Grandfather Hart in the Harris County History book, which is irreplaceable since it is no longer in print. One of my favorite things when I was a very small child was to get Daddy to tell me about when he was a little boy. And he used to tell me how they would go fishing down in the bank somewhere. I think his daddy was very strict with him, but I guess the poor man had a hard time. Now, each one of them had a job to do at the house, because Aunt Willie kept the house, but they had to help him. And Daddy helped wash, and Uncle Vi helped cook, and he could cook up a storm. And Uncle Vi got married at 17 to Ida Mayfield. She was older than he was. They had 2 children, Johnny Lee and Neil. And Neil was one of my heroes. I always look forward to Neil coming. And Uncle Vi was nice, though. He had blue eyes, but he had curly hair like my dad. And he was always so well dressed. Aunt Ida worked at Curlin's for many years, and Uncle Vi worked for the city. And some of the brick streets on Lower Broadway were laid under his supervision. Now, Uncle Ben was the oldest. They called him Buddy. And he was also married at 17 to Rowena Knowles. She was older than he was, too. And they first lived over around Wavy Hall, around her family. But later, Daddy said he helped him to move to Columbus. Seemed like he lived somewhere up in North Highland. And he went to work clerking in stores. He worked at Curlin's for a long time. And he was a sweet, soft, a long time. And he was a sweet, soft-spoken man. He was bald-headed when I first remember him. And it seemed like he had real big ears. But he was also always so immaculately dressed. But he ran a dairy for many years up on Hamilton Road. And the funny thing, they lived downtown for a long time. I remember going into their house. And it was one of those houses in downtown Columbus. And Aunt Rowena had a brother who was named Frank Knowles. And he was in the Army, and for some reason he went AWOL. And he came to Columbus and brought a wife and 2 children, Irene labeled. He was lived for years in my uncle's house. He was like a shadowy figure. Nobody ever saw him. And Uncle Ben and Aunt Rosa raised this oldest child.